I'm bringing Layla into the house. She's been outside for a while, running around and playing, whatever she wants to do. And this is exactly what we do every day, at least 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day. Whenever she goes outside, we always hook her up to her leash out here. We do this little front door exercise, okay, where she walks through calmly with me. Sometimes I'll just do this, sit, and practice going out, in and out, because you definitely want to desensitize her to going through boundaries, especially your front door or gateway boundary, because that's part of the problem. She's all hyped up and excited before you even hit the street because she wants to rush through those boundaries. So if you practice this a lot, you're going to have a great sits day, which she already has, but you're going to continue it at your house, and she's just going to be calmer in general because throughout the day you practice all these little things like 10 seconds here, 20 seconds there. These little periods where she has to have self-control. She has to calm herself down. Like if she kept popping up in the beginning, she kept popping up. So every time she popped up, I would close the door. And I would say, okay, let's pretend she made a mistake. I would close the door and I would just put her back like that. And then I'd try it again. And if she popped up, I would say no. Okay. And I'd step into her, do a little do-over circle, put her back, and she learned that when she popped up, it made the door close in her mind. So she wants to go through that boundary, so she's got to have enough self-control, not be reactive, and keep her butt planted so that she can go through the door. Okay, just like that. Sit. Or if you're really busy, you can just always make sure she doesn't pull you through though. Like if you're really busy and you're in a hurry, you don't have to do that exercise, but at least do that at least once a day. You got a gate, you got a front door. Those 2 places are great places to do that. And then if you're in a hurry, you can just make sure she waits. See how the leash is always loose? Okay. Have her walk through with you without pulling like that. Do a little left turn, close that door. In this case, we're going straight over to the crate. Come on, a little bit closer. Sit. She's still a little bit skittish with me, although after all these weeks, she's getting a lot better, learning to trust me. So if I'm going to send her in the crate, I always have her sit and wait, and then this door closes by itself, so I got to do this fast. Go. I send her in. You do that motion to go, and you've noticed that throughout the videos and our private lessons together, if I want to release her to go somewhere, whether it's to go be free, to go say hi, go in the crate, go into the car, whatever it is, I have her sit and I pat her chest and I say go, and I do that motion. And it's the same move, but you just use it wherever you need it. So it works really well. And when she went in there, I gave her a couple of treats. And this is where I take off her little prong collar. And she usually will go to the back of the crate, so I just gently but firmly pull her forward, grabbing onto her buckle collar. That's the one with her tags. You don't want to pull her around on either one of these metal collars. And I take these off, and I hang the prong collar up on the door like this, so it doesn't get tangled up, and you can put these wherever you want. I use a choke chain to double up on this collar because sometimes these little prong collars, they're the smallest size they make. Sometimes the little links lose their integrity and they just eventually fall out, and you don't want that happening on the street. If that happens, you've got both the prong collar and the choke chain attached to the leash, so if that ever comes off, choke chain takes over. No, I got tangled, but the choke chain takes over and you don't lose the dog because you got the choke chain. But you never would use that choke chain for training because that would be very damaging, and there's no safety. It's not fitted to the size of her neck, so it would just be all right there. The prong collar, it may look scary, but if you're using it the way that we've used it, and you see it all over the videos, you're not going to cause her harm. It's really helped in having her not pull anymore, and you have to use it a certain way. It's a really great tool, and it's really going to help you. Being a novice at dog training, it's going to help you to have control over her. So definitely keep using it, but use it the way that I show you. And of course, we'll be practicing with that. So when you want to take her out of the crate, And by the way, she's been sleeping overnight in the crate, and all day long she goes outside, she comes in, outside, back and forth. She's been in this crate and then another crate in my kitchen, but always back and forth, and lots of dogs around walking past, and she's watched them and they've watched her. So she's been, this is called, obviously this is called socialization. She's been very well socialized with dogs here, around tons of dogs, but all the dogs know that there's a power greater than themselves. There's a lot of structure here. Nothing bad can possibly happen because there are rules and there are safeguards, because all the dogs are new here when they first come for the training, and there's safeguards built in so that nothing bad can happen, and if they're here for a while, then they get socialized a lot better than they were before. So that's what this is. It is socialization. And then later on, when they're with dogs loose, they always do way better. So if I'm gonna put her back on the leash, first I'm gonna just reach in here, and you notice how she won't come out unless I release her. I put the choke chain on first. I've already attached the prong collar to the leash, and you want to attach it to the little strange looking buckle. The round one, the perfectly round one, is only a spacer. So it's not, you don't attach it to that. You attach it to the funny looking buckle, and you make sure it's not twisted around. So you got to make sure that you can let it hang or whatever you want to do. So it's like this. And then you reach in, and she'll wait for you to just hook her up. Just like that. And I'm going to double up on the choke chain as well, so that if you do it all the time, it'll be like second nature, and then you'll never lose her. In case that prong collar comes out off on the street, you'll never lose her. So just always, just for safety's sake, double up on both collars. You'll always be fine. And see how she'll wait? She's going to wait. If she doesn't, you just say no. Give this a little, what I call a token slam. She knows what that means. She's very good at waiting. And then kind of turn so she's on your left a little bit. Pat your leg and say, okay. She'll come out. I always do. See how she kind of wanted to rush forward, and I just did a couple of little prompts like that. With the prong collar, it just makes it so easy. So I did a left turn, and I went back and I closed the door, because that crate door is always closed. You control her access in and out. She loves her crate. This is a dog that's very skittish and shy and loves to isolate. So the crate's a great place for her to isolate. But if you're going to use a crate, you want to use it as a tool for training. So if she wants to go in there and feel safe and isolate, she has to wait both ways for you to allow her in and out. And of course, we're feeding her in there. She has all her bones and chewies. Everything good happens in the crate. We don't have things loose all over the ground out here. Do everything you can do to make that crate the best place ever. And then you control her access in and out. Just another piece of the puzzle that makes you more in charge in her mind, because that's part of the problem. The only reason she would be guarding you out in public and pulling you around like you're irrelevant is if she thinks that you are a possession to guard, and she doesn't get it that you're in charge. So you do things like controlling the boundary of the front door, gateways, crates, that change her perception of who you are. Okay, now we're going to go outside. We'll let her outside again. Sit. And if I was going to let her be free, I would do it like this. I'd never send her out like this, because you're going to teach her to rush through the doorway. So all you have to do is do that extra step. Okay, bring her out here, have her sit, and then release her out here. Go. Let her have free time. And if you follow that same routine in your house, it may take a day or two or three, but she will, all this stuff will kick in. She'll start getting used to you handling her the way I handle her, and you'll see a big change. You just have to keep with it for a while. Study the videos, give me a call if you need to, have me come back to help you, whatever you need. But if you do the things I did here, then this good behavior is going to start happening there more and more in your place.